You can easily connect NetSuite to Estuary Flow in a matter of minutes, allowing your ERP data to be ingested in real time. Let's learn how to do this. First things first, make sure that SuiteAnalytics is enabled for your NetSuite account. This is a requirement as Estuary Flow leverages SuiteAnalytics for its connection. Next, you'll need your NetSuite account ID. To find it, navigate to Setup and then Company and select Company Information. Scroll down and you'll see your account ID listed there. Keep this handy. You'll need it when we configure the capture in Estuary. Next, you'll need to create an integration in NetSuite. Navigate to Setup, Integration, then Manage Integrations, and click New. Now you'll name your integration. For this example, I'll call it Estuary-REST-Integration. Make sure the State option is enabled. Under the Authentication section, check the box for token-based authentication. You should also uncheck the boxes TBA Authorization Flow and Authorization Code Grant. Not unchecking these will cause errors when creating your integration. Once this is complete, save your changes. NetSuite will now generate your consumer key and consumer secret. These will only be displayed once, so copy them and store them somewhere secure. You'll need them later to configure your capture in Estuary. Now that you have your integration, you'll need to set up a role that Estuary Flow will use to access your data. Navigate to Setup, Users-Roles, Manage Roles, and click New. Next, give the role a name. In this case, I'll call mine Estuary-Integration-Role. Now, scroll down to the Permissions section. You will provide full or view access to transactions, reports, lists, and setup entities, whichever data you want Estuary Flow to ingest. The entities you select here will determine which data sources are available in your Estuary capture. Now that you've created a role, the next step is to assign it to a user. To do this, navigate to Setup, Users-Roles, and then Manage Users. Find the user you want Estuary Flow to use and click Edit next to the user. In the user details, go to the Access tab. From the Roles dropdown in the Access tab, assign the Estuary-Integration-Role or the role name that you just created. Finally, save your changes. With all the configuration you've done so far, the last step you need to complete is generating an access token. Again, go to Setup, Users-Roles, and now Access Tokens, and click New. For the application name, select the integration you created earlier. Mine is Estuary-REST-Integration. Under User, pick the user you assigned the role to. Next, under Role, select the role that you created. In my case, Estuary-Integration-Role. Finally, give your token a descriptive name. I'll call mine Estuary-REST-Integration Token. Once you save this configuration for your access token, NetSuite will display your token ID and token secret. Again, copy and save these in a secure location as they'll only be showed once. You'll need them shortly when configuring Estuary. One other small configuration step that you can do in NetSuite if you don't already have this available is to make sure that internal IDs are turned on. You will need the internal ID of the role that you created within Estuary Flow. To do this, navigate to Home, then User Preferences, and check the box for Show Internal IDs. Now, navigate back to Manage Roles, and you'll see the ID for each role. Copy and save the ID for the role that you created for your Estuary integration. In this case, mine is 1073. Now that NetSuite is fully configured, it's time to move over to Estuary Flow. Inside of Estuary Flow, navigate to Sources and click New Capture. In the connector search bar, type in NetSuite. You'll see two capture options, NetSuite and NetSuite SuiteQL. For this walkthrough, we'll be using the NetSuite capture, not SuiteQL, because this one leverages SuiteAnalytics, which was the prerequisite from earlier. Within the capture, first choose the organization prefix you want to associate this capture with. I'll use mine called Josh-org, but you can use whatever prefix is available to you. Next, give the capture a meaningful name. In this case, I'll call mine demo-netsuite-capture. Now let's configure the endpoint. The first thing we'll do is enter your NetSuite account ID. You'll notice the connection type beneath the account ID, which should remain as SuiteAnalytics. Next, you'll provide your role ID. In this case, mine is 1073, but this is the ID that we copied right before we left NetSuite. Next, choose the NetSuite Analytics source if you need to change it. By default, it's netsuite2.com, which is what I'm using. If you're using an older NetSuite version, you might need to use netsuite.com instead. Now we can move on to the authentication setup. You will input the following values from earlier: your consumer key, consumer secret, token ID, and token secret. And that's it. There are some additional advanced settings available, but for this demo, this is all the setup we'll need to connect NetSuite to Estuary Flow. In the upper right-hand corner of Estuary Flow, select Test. Estuary Flow will connect to NetSuite and show all of the entities you previously set up in your role permissions. I'll keep all of my settings the same, but feel free to pick and choose the entities you want or tweak the resource configuration parameters as needed. Once you're satisfied with your configuration, click Save and Publish. Estuary Flow will now begin ingesting your NetSuite data into a collection without you having to write a single line of ETL code. And that's it. You've successfully connected NetSuite to Estuary Flow and set up a capture. For more information about Estuary, check out estuary.dev or dive into the docs at docs.estuary.dev.